Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another video on injured Android application. Today we are gonna be doing flag 10, and this flag is pretty fun and educating, so I really like this flag. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and let's get right into it. So if we hop on our Android phone and go to flag 10 Unicode, it asks us for a flag, and if we type in anything and click on submit, we don't get any output at all. So let's now try to figure out what is the problem and why are we not getting any output here. So let's go to Jadix and let's try to investigate how the source code of that application looks like. So let's go to flag 10 Unicode activity. I'm assuming this is going to be flag 10. And the first thing that I see is this base64 encoded string. So we can try to copy it and play around with it and try to figure out what does it do. So if I go to my terminal and I echo -n this string and then base64 decode it, I can see a path to Unicode and slash. And I think that this is a path because of a trailing slash at the end. So this is interesting. And immediately I also see Firebase auth here. So let's try to go back to the Firebase URL that we have discovered in previous videos, under resources, res, values, and then strings.xml. And then let's try to find that Firebase. I will just search for Firebase, and then we have this HTTPS URL. If you remember from the previous videos, if I go to this URL and type in .json, we get this permission denied. Let's see what would happen if I typed in that Unicode. I believe it was Unicode. Yes, Unicode. If I type in unicode.json, we still get permission denied. If I type in Unicode slash, we get redirected to the login page. So this is not an interest to us. If I go to just Unicode, like without a slash, we also get redirected to the login page, which is not interesting for us. So this interaction fails, so let's move on to the next thing that we have here. Let's go back to the flag 10 Unicode activity. So first we see those hints. So the first hint is talking about find the email address and then cause a Unicode collision. So let's try now to figure out what even is the Unicode collision, and I will talk about it further. And we have some more code. It's decoding this. This is the same string that we had previously. Yep. It's decoding the strings, and I don't really see anything too interesting yet. I see not authenticated, so we will probably have to authenticate with that email that we are going to discover from the hint. Find the email address right here. So let's try to figure out now what is a Unicode collision. So I will copy this Unicode collision and I will just paste it to Google. And almost the first thing that we see is this article hacking GitHub's auth and with Unicode's Turkish dotless I. So this article is talking about something pretty interesting in coding in general. It's showing the example here with JavaScript, but I will showcase the example with JavaScript myself. So let me just go ahead and talk about this vulnerability, I would say. So if we convert some kind of letters from the Turkish alphabet to lowercase or to uppercase, we can see that the code points are basically the same as in English alphabet when we convert it to uppercase or to lowercase, and that includes the Turkish I. If we convert the Turkish I to lowercase or to uppercase, it would be it would maybe have the same value of hexadecimal as convert it from English to lowercase or to uppercase. So let me show an example here. So I will go to JavaScript online compiler like this one. I'll start coding. Let's see. Let me choose JavaScript and I will just delete everything. I will create two variables. So Turkish text is equal to, let me just Google Turkish alphabet like this, and then let me find Turkish I. So the Turkish I is this one, and I will just, I is a Turkish letter, and then I will do the same thing with English string. English text is equal to I is a Turkish letter. So we have the same string, only the I changes here. So now let me just declare two constant variables. So const lowercase Turkish like that, and then Turkish text dot to lowercase local lowercase, I believe, like that. And then I will have to define the Turkish, I believe that the Turkish, like the language code, is tr-tr, and then let me define another constant, lowercase English, and then English text dot to local lowercase, and then we will leave it as it is. Now I will just log these both variables to the console. So console.log lowercase Turkish first, and then console.log lowercase English, like that. And as we can see from the output, it gets converted to exactly the same letter, even though we converted a different letter from the different alphabet to lowercase. This English lowercase letter is the same as this Turkish lowercase, and you might see that it is only from the perspective, because our eyes can't see like the small dot that is a little bit different, but we can compare these values. So console.log lowercase English, and we check if it's equal to lowercase Turkish, and it's true. So it's exactly the same letter. So this might cause a lot of vulnerabilities in software, and developers have to be aware of this, like a collision, as it's called, Unicode collision. So, and if we read through this article carefully, we can find an email address here. So we might think that it is the email address that we are required to find in the exercise. So let me just copy this email address and then go back to the injured Android, and let's try to enter this email address to FLAC 10 Unicode. Just copy and paste. I will just enter the keyboard mode, paste. I cannot paste, just hold this and then paste and submit, and we see that nothing happens as before. So it asked us to cause a Unicode collision. So let me just try to copy lowercase Unicode I. So let's just go to this browser here, a Turkish alphabet lowercase I from the Turkish, or this one or this one. I'm not really sure. Let's try this one. I will have to copy it from my host machine, so let me just do just that, because if I copy it from my virtual machine, it's not going to work. So let's try this letter, and then go back to the application, and then just paste in the letter that I have copied. Hopefully, maybe I will just redo the email, because it's really hard to copy paste in this phone, because control key doesn't work. So let me just change the I here and then paste the string that I have prepared for myself. That's not the right I, so let me just try another one of these letters. Just replace these I's. Alright, I can't delete fast and I cannot paste. It's really hard to get used to this phone. It still doesn't work. I believe that we actually have to do that. Let's see. Let's go back to the Kali virtual machine. And then let's see. Let's try to copy this I. I copied just this letter. Then I will paste it to the email address. Let's see, like that. Copy and then paste in the application. Paste, submit. We still don't get anything. So I had to cut the video because the flag wasn't working for me for some reason, and I realized that something was wrong with the internet on the emulator back there. So I just switched to another emulator, and now if I try to enter the same string with the I without a dot, with that Turkish I, submit, we get not authenticated string. So on this tablet it is working for some reason. On the previous one it wasn't. Maybe it's because this tablet is running on API version 35, so I can paste it easily like that and not worry about any of the pasting issues and typing like that. So it's a bit easier on this tablet, so I switched to API version 35, and that is why I told you to test different API versions. If something is not working on a one version that is below, maybe it will work on the above version or vice versa. That's why it is worth it to have a bunch of emulators with a bunch of different API levels, and if something is not working for you, just test a different thing. So if we enter the flag once again and click on submit, we get not authenticated from on the CMAP. So let's try to investigate how does the authentication work on the device. So let's go back to the flag 10 Unicode activity on our JADX application, and then let's just go through the source code and let's try to locate what is happening here. And if we scroll down, we see no cheating. It's probably detecting some kind of activity, something like a bypass or something to the authentication. Let's go back to this. I accidentally clicked it. So we are creating these variables here. These are just the hints. Then we are creating some kind of a class, and then it is checking whether the user is logged in or not. It checks if the user is probably like trying to bypass it or something like that. Let's see. It converts to uppercase, like we have seen on the application. Because it converts to uppercase, it was giving us the error that was not given without uppercasing the I letter. It's still giving us the same thing, but it is just asking us to exploit that I without the dot. Let's see. Let's scroll down even more. It's decoding this same string, and then let's see where is it appending the decoded directory. It's going to Firebase. Maybe we cannot access this Firebase because it is only for authenticated. Maybe this is like a fixed bug and we cannot actually see the contents of the directory in the Firebase URL. So let's scroll down. It's creating some sort of a color. This is doing something as well. And we get not authenticated here. So let's try to figure out the authentication. And we haven't seen, scrolling through the source code, anything that would show that the authentication was successful. So let's try to find just that in the source code. We have seen one thing that is something like successful. Nope, actually we haven't seen anything here. So let's just go ahead and go to navigation text search and search for authentication. We see authentication succeeded here on this class and on this what is it? It's just another I think it's another activity. We shouldn't go to this one. Let's see. Yeah, it's another challenge. I think it's challenge 11 or something like that. Let's go back to navigation and then search for authentication succeeded. So we have this another one, a string here, and this is looking somewhat promising because it has the same Firebase auth like we had previously. And looking through the application source code, I can see that we are calling this activity. Set content view on this activity. Let's try to search for this string in the activities in Android manifest. We can see that there is an activity, which is this activity, and it is exported. And if you remember what I told you in the previous video, we can access the activity if it's exported by just calling it in the terminal. So if I type in adb adb shell, do I have to go to shell or not? I forgot actually. I think I don't have to go to the adb shell, and I can just trigger the activity through here. So let me just try doing just that. I'm just looking through my notes on my Android application penetration testing. I suggest you making notes too. Notes are very important because you will just forget everything that you have learned in like 2 months if you don't take notes, and you will just have to start over again looking through everything. And if you have nice and organized notes, you can keep everything organized. So adb shell, this is just to start the activity. So I am start -n, and then let's choose the activity name. The activity name is going to be this one, and then we just have to type in binac injured Android / like that, starting. Let's go back to the application. We have this login screen. Let's try to log in, and it says authentication failed. So let's go back to the application. Let's try submitting the email, and then calling the activity again, clicking on login. It doesn't really work. I believe I figured out why it wasn't working for me. So let's go back here, and because I have submitted it as normal I forgot that the application is handling weirdly the weird I from the alphabet. So if I go ahead and copy this once again, this email, and then submit it, we get that the not authenticated. Now let's try to trigger this activity again. Click on login, then authentication is still failing. So I'm not really sure what the problem might be. Let's try maybe calling this activity in a different way without providing this. Activity does not exist. So no, we have to call the activity like that. Yeah, this makes sense because the activity wouldn't have been called. So I'm really confused what might be the issue here. Let me just go ahead and pause the video here and I will come back once I have figured out my issue. So I've done some investigation about this flag, and this seems like the solution what we did was correct, but for some reason it is not working. And I just asked a few people about the flag, and they told me that the flag is probably broken then, because they have done it, I have done it too before, but it is not working now. So the solution to this exercise was that we have to invoke this activity, and then we have to log in the application. It should say that the authentication is successful, but it doesn't say because it's probably making some kind of a request to a server, and that server is not alive anymore, and it is not getting the authentication string and cookies. So while it's comparing these values, if this is true, and we can actually go ahead and take a look at what it is, it's some kind of a boolean, but yeah, we can make we can understand from this just if statement that this boolean is not getting returned true, and I'm not sure why. I think it is just broken, but nevertheless, I'm going to upload this video anyway, because this Unicode thing that we have learned about Turkish alphabet and Turkish I is actually important thing for app testing, and you can try to submit this Turkish I in different fields. For example, if you're testing, for example, some kind of a cross-site scripting payload, and you find in the source code of the application that the application is turning the letter to uppercase or to lowercase, so you can just try to using this Turkish I letter and then copying to that input box where you are seeing that your cross-site scripting payload is failing, but it is converting the payload to lowercase or to uppercase. And if it is converting it insecurely, like we have seen in this exercise, which I am really sad that I couldn't have shown, but I have shown it here, so you understand it. At least I hope so. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Next video we're gonna do flag 11 probably. This flag was a bit longer, so I made this flag to only one video. I don't really remember how long are the other flags. I believe some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next